Hi, it's Jude, and today I'm going to be talking about when I knew I was transgender. So I get asked this question a lot, and honestly, I don't have a really great answer for that because I think that throughout my entire childhood, I had always definitely not been a girl. So I struggled a lot with my identity, and I really just I was bullied a lot when I was real little, and I just really wanted to be normal, and I didn't really at the time, like, I couldn't understand anything that was going on, but I knew that I was not a happy camper ever. Um, but I think that a lot of people that are unhappy, they really try so hard to be happy on the outside, and I don't think a lot of people knew about how unhappy I was as a kid and as a teenager. When I was really little, I was just a very masculine child. I never really wanted to do anything that were like girl things to do, I guess. Like, femininity was just not me. And my mom always was trying to, dress me, but she realized probably by the time I was about 7 or 8 that I was not going to take it anymore, and I didn't want to wear the stupid outfits that she was putting me in. And she let me dress however I wanted to dress. And that was when I started to dress really badly. So basically I was just t-shirts and jeans and zip-up hoodies and my hair in a ponytail at like the back of my neck, and it was really, really bad. But I was comfortable, and that's really all that I cared about. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I was just a kid, and even in high school I was never really trying to impress anybody. I was just trying to be comfortable in the clothes that I was wearing. So then I got to high school. At that point I was really struggling hard with my identity, both with the way that I wanted to present myself and the way the society wanted me to present myself, and with my sexual orientation as well. But at this point, I was a very strong ally to trans people and to non-straight people. I really just didn't want to admit to myself that I was not a cis heterosexual. And so that was really hard for me when I started to realize. I think that the reason was because all throughout school, people would come up to me and they'd tell me that I was a lesbian, or that I looked like a man, or that I acted like a dude, or whatever it was. And as soon as they would say that, I would say, no, I'm not, because you're not going to tell me who I am. And so I did that before I really knew who I was. So then when I started to figure out that, I was attracted to women as well as men, and that I was not happy as a girl in my mind, it was just proving them all right. And I think that a lot of people go through that type of thing where they don't want to admit that they're that way, even though they don't see anything wrong with it. So of course, during my teenage years, I went through puberty, and I did not go through puberty very well. I had a lot of people ask me, or insinuate that I was a man, or like on the phone somebody would mistaken me for a boy, and it used to upset me a lot because I felt as if I was trying so hard to fit into who I was supposed to be, but failing. And in my mind, if somebody thought that I was a man when I was clearly trying to be a woman, then in my mind, it made me think that they thought that I was ugly, basically, which is clearly not true. But as a 15-year-old girl going through puberty, it was just not something that you wanted to hear. So after high school, I had one of my friends that I was still friends with, and I went to college thinking that I was going to make all these friends that everything was going to be different, that I was going to actually fit in. And I found out very quickly that I did not fit in. I didn't fit in with the girls and I didn't fit in with the guys. So I became very, very depressed. I was not a happy person. I had my one friend, and I think that she was going through depression at the same time that I was, and we were each other's only friends, so we were kind of stuck. Finally, after a couple years of this, I decided that I was going to go out and I was going to try to find another person to bring into our friend group. And that's when I literally went looking for somebody to be my friend, and that's when I met Brooke. I became very close with Brooke very fast. I look back on it now, and I can clearly see that I was falling in love with her. But I struggled a lot with my feelings. I had crushes on friends before that I really didn't know how to deal with when I was younger, and I could see the same things happening. It was very obvious that Brooke was falling for me, and I chose to ignore it and to pretend like it wasn't happening. And I was in denial myself that I was even attracted to women at this point, until finally I almost wanted to slap myself in the face because I knew that I could be so happy, and I was scared because we were such close friends and I didn't want to try it and for it to not work out and to lose her. It was the best decision that I've ever made because she's my rock and is everything to me, and without her I would not be here, and I would not be who I am, and I would not be happy at all. So I decided that I was going to be in a lesbian relationship, and that was hard at first because of all of the years of denial, but then I got used to it, and I came to terms with who I was. So we're a few months into the relationship. Finally, I said, screw it, and I changed my major to theater. I hated college before theater, and now I have so many supportive friends. I have so much that I love about what I do. Why am I telling my whole life story? To move on with the story, I started dressing the way that I wanted to dress, and I started doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, and I started throwing away all the clothes I didn't want, and then I think that it kind of just hit me, and Brooke talked me through it, and at first I identified as genderqueer and gender fluid, and I thought that I would have feminine days and masculine days, but I don't have any feminine days, and so I was transmasculine for a while, until I really thought to myself and said, who am I kidding? I've always been transgender, and I have gone through my life for other people, and I'm tired of doing that. So I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be unapologetically me. And I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to put my story out there and my experiences, and I'm going to educate people and try to help people who are having doubts or who are confused, and maybe my story will help somebody else understand who they are. So I guess what the whole point of this video was to tell you, when did I know that I was trans? And I think the answer that I kind of got at was I've always sort of known. I've always sort of known that I wasn't a girl. I've always sort of known that I never was going to want to dress femininely. I never wanted to act femininely. I finally came to terms with it about a year ago. A little over a year ago. And things have changed a lot since then. But I'm the happiest that I've ever been. And I identify as a trans male. And I'm so incredibly happy and so just overwhelmed with the amount of support and love that I get from my friends and most of my family, and it's the best feeling in the world. So thank you to everybody who supports me and accepts me, and you really are the reason why I'm still sitting here today.